Welcome to Money Monday, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Asia May, and I'm here with my father.
Al Thomas.
Thank you, Dad, introducing himself. If you guys are interested in anything related to business, personal finance, and entrepreneurship, this is the channel to be on. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below if you want to go ahead and join the family, as well as hit that notification bell so you know every time I post every
Monday and Thursdays.
Thank you. If you find anything helpful, informative, anything really, if you enjoy these type of Money Mondays, go ahead, hit the like button down below. It really means a lot to help grow the channel, which pretty much means YouTube sees that this information is valuable, that people enjoy it, and they want to go ahead and put it in front of more people who would get a lot of value from it. So today we are here on a special segment that we have every coming Monday, which is going to be our segment on Money Monday. I'm a firm believer that the best way to learn is definitely by learning by the mistakes and successes of other people. Today we are here joined by a special guest, someone that's very near and dear to my heart, which is my dad, say your name, Dad.
Avery Al Thomas or Al Thomas.
So this is my father, Al Thomas, if you guys have ever heard of him. If you wanted to, you guys can always go ahead and Google him. But I want to go ahead and preface everything here and say that we are not financial advisors. None of this should be taken as actual financial advice. Just saying, gotta put it out there because people are going to be like, well, no, on the keyboard. So are you ready, Dad?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, and here we go.
And I've not seen these questions, so I don't know the answer.
Yeah, these are all, he's never seen any of these questions before. Question number 1 for you is give us a brief background on who you are and what you do.
My brief background is I'm an investor. I've done several different businesses and became quite successful in different areas. I've endured from real estate to actually home-based businesses, things of that nature. I've done very well.
How old were you when you made your first million?
It's probably a little older than you. Probably, I'd say late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you said, what, 25, 27?
27.
27. And my goal is to do it by 25. So I want to beat my dad. I want to beat my old man by a few years. So moving on, so the third question that we have for you is, what are the pillars that guide your life, such as financial, family, etc.?
You know, I don't want to get religious on anybody, but it goes to that little black book called Bible, B-I-B-L-E, Basic Instruction Before Leaving Earth. So a lot of the principles that I've learned is from other people who have done better, and they follow the same principles, which is studying and understanding what the universe has to hold, as well as philosophies. And the best philosophy I've ever found is following those things in that book. It all goes back to understanding, first of all, the purpose. And what's our purpose? Our purpose is not money is not the purpose. The purpose is family. The purpose is building something. The purpose is being a mentor. The purpose is showing leadership. The purpose is giving people back, and giving back to society. I think the reason why the man upstairs got us all here for a reason, and that is to be a blessing to other people, to teach them and guide them in the right direction, and to be that pillar as far as showing them that it's possible.
Question number 4 is, what is your daily mode of operation? Which essentially means when you wake up and you start your day, how do you successfully start the beginning of your day and use that as a good springboard for the rest of your day going forward?
Well, I normally start my day at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I get up and I pray, first of all.
He does.
I read a scripture, the Bible, the Proverbs. As a matter of fact, there's 31 books of Proverbs. There's one for every day of the month. And then as you read it again next month, the same day, you'll get something totally different. So I start off with that. Then the next thing I do after I do that, I take my walk. And I walk about for a good 45 minutes at a brisk pace just to keep it up. And then I come home, take a shower, and I watch the market open at about 6:30 in the morning. And by that time, I'm making calls about 7:30 to 9. 9 o'clock, I have a conference call to broadcast into 12 different countries. And I'm finished with that about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and then I'll take calls or make appointments, and so that's how my day starts.
And I can definitely attest to the fact that he is up 4:30 in the morning, because at 6:30 when I wake up, the coffee machine is going, the news is on, and I am being woken up for the day. Question number 5 is, what was the transition from having your first and only job at the flower shop that you used to work at, and when you were a teenager, right? Like way back in San Francisco in the old days.
Wow.
And then going into working for yourself and being an entrepreneur.
Well, I've only had that job at the flower shop, and I had one other job. That was on the weekend. That was on Saturday because I went to high school. And from that point, I never looked back to a job. I've always been self-employed because I learned at an early age, nobody's going to pay for what I've worked but me.
Right.
And by controlling my time, I can control everything else in my life. And most people don't realize they can do that because they've been so programmed to think they have to have a job, but they don't have to.
I bet you guys can start to see the similarities and where I get a lot of my energy and personality from. Question number 6 is, How many streams of income do you currently have, and how do you plan to increase that number if that is your goal?
Wow. Well, one of my
we're pulling out the big guns.
Wow, that's a question. One of my income streams is through the power of a home-based business. The second is through real estate, and there's a third that I do also in the market. So there's 3 right now, and I'm gonna probably increase it to another 2 or 3 more before 21.
Just kind of like a tag-along question with this: did the virus that is currently going on affect your streams of income? Whether it's like real estate that you decided that you currently had within your portfolio and that you wanted to go ahead and sell off, or maybe were your rental properties really affected by, you know, the certain virus that's going around?
Now I work at home where I could actually, the other day I was in 3 countries and 5 states in one day, and I was still home for dinner. Working from home, I've always had a home-based business, and that's what has parlayed me to other businesses. I open up other streams of income.
Right.
And as far as my real estate holdings, most of my tenants are government tenants, so it's Section 8. I love it. People don't understand it. They think everybody on Section 8 is broke or bad tenants, but they don't understand the understanding of the programs that are out that the government has. So no, everything's been great for me. I'm thankful. I'm very appreciative.
Another thing that I really want to touch on for the people listening is the fact that he just didn't go off and spend all this money when he made it, right? He specifically said he would use the money he would make from some streams of income in order to go ahead and invest it into other ones. But the importance of really pouring that money back into your businesses, yourself, and making sure that you have that stability is so important.
Well, at a young age, God gave me 3 billionaires, and He gave me some understandings. Number 1, get involved with something that has leverage. And number 2, have something that has residual-based income. And most people don't understand that. They were here, not to say anything bad, but we're trained to go to school, get a good education, find a good job, and that's what's wrong with society. They all did that. They did the right things.
Right.
They listened to people. They dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and it doesn't work. And I'll give you an example because of the situation that we're facing right now. People are making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. You know, if they've got a first mortgage, second mortgage, 2 kids, one in private school, and a boat at the lake, and they can't afford it, their income got sliced in half, or they lost their job. So I hate to say it, but it took the economy to wake people up that what they've been doing all this time has not worked. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of them are still paycheck to paycheck, and now they don't have a paycheck.
Leave a big like on this video, you guys, if you want to see my dad start his own YouTube channel. He has so much good wealth of information. If you're looking for someone who literally made it from nothing, of growing up in really the hood of San Francisco and then now becoming a multimillionaire, leave a like on the video down below so we know that you guys are interested, as well as leave a comment and see we want to see more from Al. So comment those things down below and make sure to like the video, guys. It seriously helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it also makes my dad encouraged to start, you know, learning technology. Question number 8, Dad. Who are your favorite speakers that you are motivated by?
Well, one gentleman whose name Winston Churchill, I love his speech that he gave. He says, never, never, ever quit. And that hit home to me. You know, I love reading books. I read about 3 books a month. My office is a big library. My bedroom is a library.
Yeah, we have lots of books everywhere, you guys. Like everywhere.
Yeah, I've got a new one I just started on because leaders are readers. And people say, well, I don't like to read. Well, then you need to learn how to read if you're going to be a leader.
Then you better get on Audible.
Audible works as well, but you got to
Podcasts.
educate yourself. So many people are watching this dumb TV. Get on YouTube. YouTube's got some of the best teachers.
Leave a like.
Some of the best teachers. And I'm not saying anything bad, but some of these schools and colleges are teaching things that don't work today. That's why the society's like it is. Nobody don't teach about money. They don't teach about success. They teach about stuff that doesn't work in the real world. So get apart and go to YouTube. Some of the best teachers in the world. You know, the list goes on and on, but you've got to be able to listen to learn and increase your education and then implement what you learn.
My dad and I will always exchange back and forth different YouTube videos that we're watching. If you guys are interested in this type of content, it's probably because you're interested in improving your own financial well-being and improving your own businesses. So people that are like that on YouTube that we also love to watch, Graham Stephan, you definitely, if you're watching this, you definitely have watched Graham Stephan before. I've been watching Graham since he had about 30,000 subscribers. And he's now like responding back to some of my messages and comments underneath his video. So thank you, Graham, if you ever see this. I would love to do a collab video with you. I would love to see Ramsey meet your girlfriend, or if you ever come to Las Vegas, take you to Sushi Neko. But question number 9, Dad, is who were your mentors growing up?
Well, guys, like I said, God gave me 3 billionaires at a young age. One was Kenny Trout. The second one was a guy named Peter J. Daniels, and the third one, I want to leave that name alone because it's very controversial, but he's very much in the public eye, and I've been blessed by learning from these gentlemen and they've all told me about always, always, always never work for anybody else. Number one, use leverage. And number two, find business that has residual-based income. Something you do once you get paid on. He says, look at leverage. How many Starbucks in your city? One or zillion? I go, zillions. You go, exactly. He said, how would you like to get a quote on every cup of coffee sold today? Lots of money. He says, think about that. That could be you.
Question number 10 is going to be, what is something the average person... Question. What is something the average person could invest in right now?
Well, a home-based business. They can invest in gold, silver, something, because this economy is not coming back. We're printing money like left and right. The first thing I'd say is invest in who? You. You're it. You know, if you don't invest in you, nobody else will. And what I mean, let's go back. YouTube's got some of the best teachers in the world. Better than college, these professors. These are real people with real stories, with real businesses, not hypothetical. I would spend an hour or two a day on YouTube studying, but that would have a better view, and then you make the decision. And that's where I would start at. Home-based business is the number one thing. I've always said, number one. You don't need but a couple $100. Everybody got that to start a home-based business. Think about it. It doesn't cost that much to start a channel, and it doesn't start that much with a home-based business. It's going to give you leverage and residuals. Right. Like, for example, I get paid every time a cell phone rings, every time somebody uses their internet, every time somebody uses an alarm system, and it's changing this. Once I can change this, then I can change this.
When it comes to investments, you guys, it doesn't necessarily just need to be a monetary investment.
Exactly.
The biggest investment in anything is not money, it really is your time. So your time that you spend in investing in yourself and learning in your knowledge is going to be the biggest thing that benefits you.
You know, when I started investing out of state, I just didn't start. I had to study and research and look at the analytics and see how many people's moving there and what kind of income the brackets were and what was the main companies that are 5 top companies in that particular city before I made an investment to learn something. So you have to invest in youth first of all and take the time to learn something so you can make an intelligent decision.
Number 11 is what, I know you're gonna love this question too because you love this and like you got me really into this, but what books do you recommend?
Well, first of all, Think and Grow Rich is the basic Bible book, I would say. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, another book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. We talk about the different spectrums, the E, the S, the B, the I. Powerful book. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is another one. Think Big by David Schwartz is another great book for business. And I think the first thing to do is first of all, increase this by knowledge. And then not just knowledge, but actually implementing what you learn. And that's the beautiful thing. Everything I've done in my life, I've self-taught per se, but I had to start doing it. I can read 10 books on how to ride a bike, but until I get on myself on a bike, I can't ride that bike. So don't just be reading and not doing. You're a doer. Like I love Nike's commercial, just do it.
And I think that's something that people really get caught in analysis paralysis, where they need to analyze everything and have all the information, and then they never go out and do it yourself. It's really taking that and doing the action steps that takes you to that next level.
Not only that, you want to follow real teachers. What's a real teacher? A teacher that's done it. Not somebody who got more degrees than the thermometer. You know, I had a guy I was in a conversation with, he had, you know, he had a PhD, but he was poor, hungry, and desperate. But he had all this knowledge, but he never did anything with it.
Even in college, I felt like a lot of my professors had really never actually worked in the field, or if they did work in the field, they only did it for a few years. Why would I try to learn something from someone who's never done it themselves? Or why would I try to learn entrepreneurship from someone who's never created their own business? Question number 12 should have probably been looped back into a few questions ago, but how were you introduced to your mentors?
Well, one of them, I read a book about him, and I wanted to meet this guy, and a friend of mine called me in San Jose. I lived in Sacramento at the time, and I was taking flight lessons before I bought my plane. And I asked him, I said, well, tell me a little bit, you know, he was telling me about the guy who's going to be in San Jose. And so I was so excited about meeting him, he was going to be there that night. So I called my flight instructor up. I said, look, can I, you know, get the airtime to fly the plane down to Oakland, where my partner, we have a limousine service, there's another one of my businesses, picked me up from the airport and walked through to go meet Peter Daniels. So I put it out there, tell people who I want to meet. And I get a phone call. So I dropped everything and met this gentleman, and we've been friends ever since. As a matter of fact, I endorsed the back of his book called The Awesome Power of Public Speaking a couple of decades ago. It's so funny, but I tell people.
Yeah, you're in that book. You mentioned that book.
Yeah, I'm in several different books. I've been in Success Magazine from home for 10 years in a row.
Question number 13, Dad, is what do you foresee happening in the future in 2021, and how can people start preparing for it now?
We have just crossed over into a brave new world, and you have to prepare yourself for it. And how you prepare yourself for it is learning a different way of doing business. which Zoom, another way of doing business. Get good at that. Get good at some home-based businesses.
Take lessons and take events that have happened recently and really start to see and mold how you can use that as information as to what you need to be doing going forward.
And if you think you know it all, go visit a library and show you how much you really don't know.
Yeah.
And that's myself. I'm always reinventing myself. So I'm always reinventing. And I'm reinventing now because I'm learning from young people, because I'm an old school guy, but I want to learn because that is the future. They are the futures. And if you're my age or younger or around there, you know, you'd be dumb not to. So listen to them and open your ears up. Question, are you learning from this? Or are you trying to go back to the same old ways of doing things which don't work? It don't work. Look at your parents, look at their day. It's changed. Look at how you live. It's changed.
And you guys remember, YouTube is free. So
exactly.
That's why you got to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know every time I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. That's that. Question number 14, Dad, is talk about your real estate portfolio.
Whoa, that's something you know, at one point I had 54 properties at one point, and
personally, not even within his different business partners.
Business partners, no, that's just
yeah, that was personal.
At one point. Now I'm getting out of everything just about because I'm waiting to go back in 2021, 2022.
Question number 15. What advice do you give people on how to prepare for the future with investing? And just general advice to people who want to start investing. So if maybe someone just like doesn't really know what to do right now, like what should they start looking at, or how should they start like looking at real estate, or how should they start looking at other things like that?
You know, Bigger Pockets is another one I listen to because you know, just start studying. Don't do anything. Study. If you want to play stocks, start studying. Don't go out there with Robinhood. I'm gonna put my money in. No, study it. Learn. Study it, and then implement once you're ready. And like I said, because of what happened in this year of 2020 in March, most people went this way. I went this way because I pivoted early on. Like right now, as soon as I got off this call, I got an international Zoom call in 12 different countries. And I'm at the comfort of my home with shorts on. I mean, I love that. So as some people, businesses died, mine took off because I learned how to pivot by listening and then implemented what I learned for the future.
Like ever since I was like a little girl, like the one thing that he always would say to me is you got to be aware of your surroundings. Like, Asia, you need to be aware of your surroundings, like everything. And it's like that isn't just, you know, looking where you are in a parking lot. It's looking at what's going on in the present day, whether it's the economy, whether it's, you know, everything, all the crazy stuff that's going on right now, and really seeing how do we learn from this and how do we pivot from this to make sure that we're successful and that we're not the people that, you know, are on the downfall because of what's going on, but because we saw what might be happening and we saw what might be happening the next year to gain and profit from that. And that's something that I really credit to you.
You know, and it's like you say, people are so myopic, they just think about what's happening in the United States. Look, things have happened in Venezuela, things have happened in South Africa, things have happened in Greece. When we're Americans, we're so dumb and stupid. We think, oh, it doesn't happen in America. Well, you know what? There's so many things that we don't see because you're so myopic and you're not looking at globally. And once you understand that, are you prepared for it?
Question number 16
yes.
is, what is the biggest piece of advice you got when you were younger that sticks with you today?
You know, one of the best advice I got when I was younger, one of my billionaire mentors, his mother would say, you don't have to be the best, just do your best. And I think about that constantly, and I instill in my children, don't, you know, look, just do your best. You don't have to be the very best, but do your very best. See, and that's what we do. Then there's a lot of parents want to live their life precariously through their kids, and they mess them up. No, be there 100% for your children, to be their best cheerleader, and let them discover what they need to do, and quit trying to live through your kids. Right. And I think that's a great thing. And my children, hey, whatever you want, I'm 100% there for you.
The next question, because I wanted to throw some like funner questions in here that I know people are gonna want to know about, because people like to know about the flashy stuff. I know what y'all are wanting to know. Okay. Number 17. How old were you when you bought your first jet? Because you mentioned it earlier, and how was that experience for you?
30s, early 30s, and it was an amazing experience. You know, I've always wanted one. When my first billionaire mentor picked me up and flew me on his, I was just blown away. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? See, that's another thing. What do I have to do? And then be willing to go do what they give you. It's like the Karate Kid: wax on, wax off. Amazing. I advise everybody to go get one.
Really?
Why not?
Because they're expensive, Dad.
So what? Just make more.
I don't know if we're gonna cut that out.
Why not?
Kind of coinciding with that question, for question number 18 is, what are some of the most expensive purchases that you regret, and some of the most expensive purchases that you do not regret?
God, I don't know. That's the
Well,
question.
you gotta know. This is a good question.
No, I don't know.
If you bought too many cars one year, maybe it was a bad real estate deal.
You know, in business, I told people, look, if I do 10 transactions and I lose on one, I'm ahead of the game. And everybody wants to win 100% of the time. That is not even realistic. Sure, we all want to, but come on, let's be real. You can't win 100% of the time. Part of winning, and write this down, part of winning is losing, and part of losing is winning. You cannot win 100% of the time. And when I was in real estate, I always tell people, if something go wrong once every 6 months, something's wrong, because it's true. So I think one of my biggest mistakes might have been in a couple projects that I had over the time that went bad, but we salvaged. We came out okay.
Yeah.
It just was a prolonged getting the deal closed.
Question number 19 is going to be kind of more geared towards people who might be a little bit older, not necessarily people my age. So how would you recommend to people your age to start saving up for retirement, even though it's like a little bit... First of all, say how old you are.
It's too late.
No, it's not too late. It's never too late.
You have to be able to invest. And what I mean by invest in yourself by reinventing yourself, first of all. I don't care what age, until he takes you home, you're still here. So that means your mission is not complete. To help me pivot and looking for other investments that are out of my reach or my knowledge so I can continue learning. And remember, school is never out for the professional. You always are still learning. Spend some time with your kids and grandkids and ask them and watch them because they are the future. Invest. And I'm going to tell you something personally, if I were you, I would go out and get as much gold and silver as I could instead of this fiat money. That's what that'd be the first thing I would do, is convert it. That'd be honest with you. So therefore, that will help you as notice the dollars going down in value and prices are sneaking going up.
Question number 20 is, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years?
5 years, probably living in another country. 10 years, living in between two countries. And in 10 years?
20. 5, 10, and 20.
20 years on the beach somewhere, having a nice, good Cuban cigar with a nice cocktail.
I thought you were going to say something like, with my grandbabies, whatever. That's fine. Cocktails it is. All right.
And they can be there.
Question 21 is, when can we expect your YouTube channel to be coming to the internet?
That's a good question. I'll get back to you.
Dad!
I'm serious.
Thank you so much for joining us again, you guys. This is the first segment of our Money Monday, which is going to be happening every Monday on my channel. So I wanted to say a special thank you to my dad, as he's my Superman, he's my superhero. He's one of the people that I look up to the most when it comes to business. And I really thank you for being on my channel today, Dad. Not like you really had much of a choice, but with that, you guys, I wanted to say thank you so much. If you found anything informative about this video, please go ahead, leave a big like on this video. Anything that you found informative, you guys, go ahead, leave a comment in the comment section down below, as well as if you have any questions for my dad, go ahead and leave those in the comments below, and I will be going through them with him, and we will be answering each and every single one of your questions. If you're looking for anything for business, personal finance, and entrepreneurship, hit the subscribe button down below, as well as hit that notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. When, Dad? Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays. Hit that button. Subscribe and hit the button.
And hit the like
Button.
Alright, with that, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. New Money Monday coming up next Monday, and a lot more content coming for you guys. Thank you guys so much, and
God bless.
bye, guys.
Bye.